This is Dolynny TV, ladies and gentlemen. Good evening, good afternoon, good morning, wherever you're tuning in from. It's my pleasure to have you along for some more Edmonton Oilers discussion today after, well, the Oilers have gone out in some different styles and won 3 straight hockey games. The plan was today to talk simply about the penalty kill, right? The special teams have been kind of special in terms of the power play this season for the Oilers, but the penalty kill has been an overwhelming letdown, right? I mean, that's the only really word to really sum it up, is just how overwhelming the letdown aspect of the penalty kill has been for the Oilers this season. And I gotta find this Mark Spector text because he ended up going out on a tangent today. I'm not really sure why, but he ended up they ended up just doing a little question period there on Twitter today, and I gotta find this here because he talks about some guys the Oilers might want to target when it comes to the trade deadline and kind of this. So if you're looking at the title of the video and you thought, well, this definitely isn't a penalty kill video, no, it's not. And secondary to that, you think, oh my goodness, Bo Horvat to the Oilers, where did this come from? This is where this came from. I will get this for you in just a second because this is actually quite a bit of gold here from Mark Spector a little bit ago on Twitter today. I was watching this thread pretty much just pop up as I was on lunch and on break earlier today, but it's one of these things, you pay attention to Twitter, sometimes you get rewarded with just a dynamite topic to talk about. So it's Ash with the question on Twitter, and here's the question for you. If there's one forward and one defenseman you targeted at the trade deadline, who would it be and what would you be willing to give up in a deal? Well, friends, here it is. Mark Spector confirms that he is in the John Klingberg group on defense. I think that is obviously the big, shiny kind of prize at the trade deadline for the Edmonton Oilers, and I think that's all but a slam dunk guarantee if they can make the money work, which they more than likely will. And then he's also watching Jonathan Toews to see how his game looks come January and February, but he is all in. The word used here is love HORVAT. So that's huge for Mark Spector right here. This is where we get to it, right? A big time Oilers columnist, love or hate Spec as you might, is all in on Bo Horvat. All our rentals, not sure I have to part with a first, but it's on the table. So there's a ton of ways to get deals done. Obviously, Vancouver, what are they looking for? Anaheim's looking to stockpile talent or get talent that can help them right now be competitive in the window they're looking to be competitive in. Jonathan Toews, the Chicago Blackhawks, I mean, they almost beat the Edmonton Oilers last night to have one more win on the season than the Oilers. So you tell me what the Blackhawks are actually going to do this year. But there's a ton of ways for these teams to decide what they're going to do. And for the Oilers, 3 big-time candidates they can come out gunning on for, of course, the trade deadline. So that's where we find ourselves. Is I don't think, and the reason this video is getting published today is because I do not think I have seen a video or any discussion on Bo Horvat to the Edmonton Oilers. And obviously with the 1-7 start that Vancouver is suffering through right now, it makes a lot of sense. He is a UFA at the end of the year, that they'd be looking to move on from him. And now all of a sudden, well, Edmonton's looking to upgrade come the trade deadline, or if not sooner, why wouldn't you take a flyer on a guy like Bo Horvat, who has been a very useful player? Current salary, current cap hit is $5.5 million. He has 6 points in 8 games played so far this year. He's a guy who career averages out to about, I'd want to say, somewhere in that range of just over 50 points a season kind of deal looks to be the average for him. And a big part too here, he's a left-handed center, but he's 6 foot, 215, plays with a hard edge, only 27 years old. So a guy drafted back in 2013, a guy that could be very useful for you if you even want to sign him on to the team later on. But an average 25 goal a season scorer, this career average in 82 games. 53 points, and a guy that takes 186 shots a year. And this is the big part for the Oilers too, is he takes a ton of face-offs. And guess what? Bo Horvat, the last 5 years has been really dang good at faceoffs, being over 52.9% every single season in the past 5 years. He scored 30 goals last year, a guy that just really is coming in to the prime of his career. And what would you know, if the Oilers could acquire a guy of his talents to kind of fill out the roster in that third line role. Obviously, too, well, what do you do with, unfortunately, Ryan McLeod? I don't care. You can move Bo Horvat to third line center, move Ryan McLeod to the wing like you did with Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, and really load up a big-time top nine. Yeah, you probably keep Puljujarvi. One of him or Foegele are going, so obviously that's who your right winger is on that line, and away you go. There are a lot of loaded options here the Oilers could turn to if they wanted to acquire Bo Horvat. If it costs you a first and a guy like Puljujarvi or Warren Foegele, that is fine and dandy because you are just swimming in the way to do it. Obviously, there will have to be more money moved out, I think, than that, unless the Canucks retained 50% of the salary and the Oilers were able to just send Puljujarvi and actually get like $400,000 against the cap back. That'd be a nice little get for sure. But that's kind of where we're sitting at right now is for Bo Horvat. This is a name I have not seen mentioned in the trade rumors so far to this point for the Edmonton Oilers, and suddenly here you go. You've got yourself a pretty interesting name on the market there if you're the Oilers in terms of what you could do having Bo Horvat potentially on your team, right? We know about John Klingberg. We know about Jonathan Toews. But hold up the phone just a minute. Yeah, we're talking about now Bo Horvat of the Vancouver Canucks being an Edmonton Oiler for a long playoff run, hopefully in the spring. That, my friends, that's why I'm talking about it, piques my interest quite a bit. So that's where we turn to the old public court of opinion because, I mean, end of the day, this is a pretty dang good player to acquire. Now, normally when that's a pretty good player to acquire at this age, there's a lot being asked in return, and Vancouver could drastically improve and hold steady and then want their captain back. But end of the day, maybe the Canucks are just ready to sell off, move on from that 2013 era Canucks team, and now all of a sudden start building the future with Podkolzin, Pettersson, and that whole core that they've got of young guys, potentially. But is Bo Horvat a guy you want to keep around? That's the question here. So, friends, I am Tyson. This is Dolynny TV. The question goes to you now. What do you think? What's kind of the answer here when it comes to this potential move for the Edmonton Oilers? Is this something you'd want to do as the Oilers, or would you want the Oilers to hold steady, don't make a stupid move like this at the deadline or right now? Or is this a move you want the Oilers to make right now? Let me know, because Mark Spector doesn't use the word love very often, but when he does, he means it, and he loves Bo Horvat to the Edmonton Oilers. I'm Tyson, Dolynny TV, up on, out of here.